So, yesterday in my sermon and prayer time, I shared that it was the last day of the church year, that Christ the King Sunday is the last Sunday on the church year or the liturgical calendar. So, with Advent coming up and starting this coming Sunday, that means it is the start of the year. And part of the marking of the start of the church year with Advent is the Advent Wreath. Now, traditionally, the Advent Wreath in our congregations will light that. A family or individual or a couple or a group of friends will go to the front of the church and light one of the candles along that wreath. And we add a candle each Sunday. And then on Christmas Eve, we light the Christ candle to mark that the light of Christ. That Christ has come into the world. It's a marking of time and a tradition to help set our spirits for the season. Well, this year, since our worship life looks different with the midst of 2020 and the pandemic, I would encourage us to come up with our own Advent wreaths to light at home. Now, Christina and I, we've had an Advent wreath in our home, and we will put it out. In many years, we've had a devotional that we'll read with it, or we'll light it on Sunday. There's a lot of ways you can go about the tradition of the Advent wreath. Well, I would encourage you, though, if you don't have an Advent wreath that is in that traditional format, to make your own. Gather a wreath, literal wreath from your house, and add candles that you have already hanging around. Feel free to be creative in the color choices of your candles or the shape or type. Creativity is a good thing. It's an important part of our faith, and using things we've got on hand. Also, if you don't have a whole lot of candles or a wreath of those supplies on hand, you can mark Advent by maybe using a small nativity that you have and putting a candle around it. And then on each of the Sundays of Advent, lighting that candle as you share in a devotion. Or you could even try something like this here, where you take Legos and just make a little Advent wreath with Legos. And what I've got here, you can take the little pieces and just move them there for marking of Advent, and you can go through and do that. It's a fun family activity. It's a fun activity you can do on your own. If you're a person that is, crafty, so to speak, you enjoy making things, this is a great thing you can do. I will link a devotional in either the description or in the first comment, depending where this video lands. If it's on YouTube, the link will be in the description. If it's on Facebook, it'll be in the first comment of a devotional you can light with your Advent wreath that you make. So this year, even though our lives are looking different, our worship life is looking different, we can keep some of these traditions alive in our home and connect, with our faith, with the coming of Christ, and also connect with each other to keep the spirit of Advent and the spirit of the coming Christ alive in our hearts and in our lives. I would love to see the Advent wreaths that you come up with. So feel free to share a picture of them, text them to me, send them, in a comment. However, I would love to see what you come up with. So use your creativity, use what you have on hand, and we can join together in our homes and with our families and friends with the season at Advent, and use the great diverse wreaths that we come up with to mark this season. Take care and have a blessed day.